Facebook says we're good. YouTube will be live in a little bit.
Let's see, man, Musa 45, right?
Alright, then.
You got it? You'll see me here sitting at the table and I'm
Alright, okay, let me see. Boom. Alright, I ain't got no live picture, Dad. I don't have no live picture.
You don't have no live picture?
Nah, I
might
just
need
put
to
email
refresh.
Musa 45.
Yeah. Have them refresh. Can you refresh?
Can you
the page?
refresh?
Let me see.
Refresh
Just
that.
refresh and see what it'll do.
Alright. Boom, let's do that. Alright.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Don't
I
forget.
got to do it on my phone then, Dad, because I just got all your, it's all your,
all the videos,
your pictures and
right,
videos, there's different videos that,
right. But you can't see me right now.
right, as of right now. Where my phone?
Does he have a phone? Does
Shell,
Abdul, yeah, he have a phone?
yeah, Shell got a phone. I'm on his phone right now.
But can you see me as you're talking to me?
Yep, I'm talking to you on his phone.
But can you see me?
Oh, I can't, hold on. Nah, you not, you,
We can do
hold on, we can, can we go,
Facebook,
video chat?
Face,
Go
not
video
chat.
chat.
No, we could go, do you have, what's that called?
FaceTime. FaceTime.
Video chat
FaceTime.
or jeans?
What is that?
How about we do FaceTime?
That's what I'm saying. FaceTime video chat.
Okay, would you,
I ain't got,
all right, would you put FaceTime on mine? He's gonna put FaceTime.
Yeah, he might have to initiate the call on his end. Let me see here.
Sean, here, do your, here, do your phone like that. I'm gonna find mine.
Okay.
Facebook. Here you go. There.
All right, let me just go.
Oh, my
to
phone.
FaceTime. There you go.
Hello?
Yeah,
Charger.
your phone, okay. Can you see me now? I'm on FaceTime.
Hello?
Yes, I'm on, wait a minute, I was on FaceTime.
Go to FaceTime.
Where's the FaceTime? How come the FaceTime?
Facebook first.
No, FaceTime, just do the phone, straight directly to me.
Did you do FaceTime?
Yeah. I can hear y'all now, y'all should be on FaceTime. Shouldn't they be on FaceTime now?
Yeah, I started the FaceTime call. They should have got a notification about it. Tap that FaceTime button one more time.
Where's that?
The bottom center.
It's real for you to call you right now. On his. Let me see.
Oh, he gonna
Okay.
call on his. On his. Okay.
Wait a minute, you can't see me now.
No. Okay, now, I got you. Strictly on the phone, high definition voice, let me see. And call.
And are you on your 209 number?
Yep, 209 now, yep.
It says FaceTime. What, is this something?
Yeah, I think he has to accept the FaceTime invite on his end because
Oh,
we're trying
you
to.
have to accept it over there.
Yeah.
How do I do that? I don't see no.
Oh, okay. So he's an Android user. FaceTime only works for iPhone users. Can he go back to the Assalamu alaikum.
Facebook.
Yeah, go back and check Facebook one more time and see if you can see the live stream now.
Yeah.
It might have taken a little bit of time for it to work through the system.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Get it on here. Okay, here we go. All right, let me log in. Hold on.
Okay.
Well, no, see, there's, anyway, I'll explain it while I'm
All right, here I come now. I'm coming.
Okay.
Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, here it comes. Put my password in.
Okay.
Now it's saying incorrect password. And I know damn well I just made this password.
language.
Use language. We live, we nasty.
You know what, we could, just type it in, we'll get it.
Squirrel finna call you right now on yours to get you press verify shit. Squirrel finna call you on FaceTime.
Okay, all right, so we'll hang up and we'll just take the call from him.
Okay.
All right, so he should be calling in a little bit.
If they not, turn, if we're gonna do most of our stuff through this right here, if I'm gonna talk to them through that,
Yeah. Still wait for him to call.
yeah. FaceTime works perfectly.
Yeah, because they FaceTime on iPhone to iPhone. You got an Android phone?
Oh.
It won't work, yeah.
Oh,
That's the problem on his end. He's got an Android device. Try calling him on the other phone, which I'm hopefully iPhone.
if it, now, if they can get me on a little computer through this, I can say everything. I could do everything I want to do just by voice and recording this. We don't have to have all this, yeah. 'Cause,
Well, we can let them, we could get started and just have them just call you and then we can, I just, wait for the call to come through. Oh, wait.
okay. What,
Oh,
what
okay. All right, give me a second here. We're gonna try to end this. Okay, no, there you go. He's calling. All right. All right. Assalamu alaikum. Let me see here. Text messages. Open that up. So I'm gonna install the confirm the side button. Oh, okay. We have to install the, that's another app for basically talking to Android users. Oh, okay, so let's get that. Double tap that, double click to install. Second, it'll take a little bit of time though for it to,
oh, you popping on the Android something or other?
yeah, I'm popping on the Android app onto your iPhone so you can voice call them.
Oh, okay.
Actually installed
Open?
Tap open. It should take you straight to their call. Yeah, I agree. Okay, yeah, give access. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Jump back to that. Yep. Okay, give me a second here. Okay, let me go back to here. Now that we got the app installed, I should be able to open this up here. Okay. Type in
Are all y'all's phones like mine, or? Oh, yeah, okay. Did you see the movie Lady Day? Okay. Yeah, well, it's the same old stuff. FBI, FBI types, but they was on her all from day one. But they're more specific. That we don't like that song. I mean, this has been like that. But they just.
waiting on him to join.
Wa alaikum salam. Sabah al khair, sabah al nur. Habari gani. You don't know all that, do you? Oh, not much. Very good. Okay, we're going to get started. I'm going to start with things that we're familiar with, if it's all right. Okay? All right, here I go. So I'm going to start with, remember, we're getting everything ready for different trials we got coming up. So, trials for the future. Yeah, you know where I've been telling y'all that don't worry about nothing and da 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 da, and don't we got it covered. But here's one of the things I just wanted to. I'm reading from. This is about my little parole revocation hearing. So I'm going to read a little bit about it. The last time you were attempting to establish your own church until your arrest by the Oakland Police Department, charged with battery on your ex-wife. It was determined through investigation that the battery was from your efforts in trying to persuade your ex-wife I know that's, go ahead.
That's what you remember, and I told you about that.
No, I know.
I remember I told you about that.
Right, I know. Both of y'all told me about it.
You
Okay.
know,
And
yeah,
both of
that's
y'all were there to witness this, right?
never about your the masjid and all that. That's what they
Okay.
fabricate.
But do you remember that when your mother was telling me, when we had that little short altercation, that she said, no, I'm going to get a loan on the house. And I said, that house is all y'all got. Do you remember that?
Remember that? Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Elam.
Yeah, Elam was trying to get, that I didn't owe him no money, the bail sponsor, because all my cases was clear, but he was telling her to get a loan and pay him. And I was telling her, we don't owe nothing, because now the house was in her name. Remember, when I was in prison, I took my name off the house and gave it to her, or gave it to y'all. Okay, right. But by the time I come home, she's talking about, she finds out that, hey, I got this house, I can get a loan and splurge. You know what I mean? That's what and I was told her that house is all y'all got. Do you remember me saying that?
I know that.
Yeah,
I remember you
okay.
saying that.
That's the only point I'm making, is that all this stuff, this one is from 1981, and this is from my parole hearing. The point is that the government, okay, let me put it this way. Do y'all remember when y'all was kids and y'all would be playing up there on Nye, and the police would start taking all the kids' name, and when they come to your name and Sheldon's name, Reams, what would the police say?
They said we said they asked us, was you our father? And we told them yeah, and they told us they was gonna get you.
Right, so that's when you were 6 years old. How old was you at that time? About 6?
Yeah, about around there, about 6, 7, or 8.
Right.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, and-
But they used to always tell us that.
Right, right.
So that wasn't just no one time though.
Right, that you're saying exactly the right thing, and everybody here is seeing that I'm not coercing you to say that. That the Oakland Police Department, what would happen when y'all would get arrested? When y'all would get arrested sometime, what would they say anything about me?
They had all kind of stuff to say. They told one dude was like, my old parole agent was like, man, Clarence Reeves your father? And I was like, yeah. Because he looked at my name and he was like, well, he beat me up and a couple other guys on the force.
That's what the police say. Right.
That's the OPD said.
Right.
But this was my agent said.
Right.
Because he used to be a sergeant on the OPD.
Right.
But they used to always say different things like, they just had animosity.
Right.
Just different animosity.
So y'all didn't have it too good while I was gone, huh? Whenever y'all would get arrested,
But we came accustomed to it. Me and Shell was accustomed to it because that's how we grew up.
Right. But still, everybody else wasn't accustomed to it. Y'all just got accustomed to it. And what they was doing
Me
was,
and Sheldon. That's what I'm talking about. Me and Sheldon.
right. Okay. There's
Remember the times when they found out who he was, how they kept coming to jack him over there on Sunnyside.
Yeah, of course. I mean, anyway, this is the point that we're remember, everybody been waiting for what I was going to do on these cases and all of that stuff. Well, I was glad when Sheldon called and said he was there in Oakland. I said, fine, now I'm going to start building the case. I mean, I done already built the case. I've been knowing what I was going to do for years. We just been coasting along. But remember, as I told y'all, that I'm going to sue the government for $100 million $100 million. And that little old money, $27 million that they gave the other brother in Minneapolis, it wasn't nothing. The point I'm making is this has been happening. You're over 50 years old now, right? 52, 53. You about 53?
52.
52.
52.
Okay. And this, ever since you've been can remember, this has been going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Sheldon was big enough to remember all of this stuff before I left. The point I'm making is, let me ask Sheldon a question. Sheldon, can you hear? Is Sheldon there? Oh, you looking right at me? All right. Now, can you remember about 10 years ago when we was driving that green Volvo and we pulled into the parking lot of that building we own down the street? Okay, do you remember when the police got behind me and was trying to stop me and I pulled into the yard?
So, yeah, calling.
You calling?
Oh, you went, you
Okay.
said your video went out there. Hold on.
My video, yeah, okay, should I push the button to say accept?
Hold on, because you're still on.
Okay,
I still got an audio on you, but no video.
Okay, I'll push accept. And this right here. Okay, how did the audio, you don't have to see me. You don't have to see me. The camera is seeing me. Huh?
You looking at me, Dad?
No, I'm not looking at you right now. You looking at me?
Yep.
You can see me.
Yeah, you got the beanie cap on.
Yeah, I know what I got on. All right, now don't worry about it. I don't see y'all, but I know you're there. So here's what we're going to do. Do you remember maybe 10 years ago when I pulled into the yard at our building at 80 on MacArthur, and the police pulled in behind me?
Yep.
Okay. The police pulled in me. I keep getting these things jumping up. Should I push some of these buttons? Wait a minute. I don't have to do nothing.
Yeah, end and accept. Yeah, that's
Wait a minute.
Okay, there you go.
All right, we're here back on live video. We're here live. Yeah, with my dear sons here. Just bear with us on the video here. We're putting this case together, and this is not for video excellence. This is for the court. Okay, let me get back to Sheldon. Is he still there?
Yeah. Sheldon, you still on?
Tell him to just come over where you are and okay.
Sheldon. No, cause see your phone. Hey, it's a trip. Your phone, over there it's like it come late over on here.
Oh, there's a delay, you mean?
No, I'm talking about right now, like you talking.
Right.
This what you saying to me, it comes a few seconds later.
Over there, yeah.
You know?
Okay. Well, don't worry. I just want him to hear me, and I want to hear him. So it don't matter whether you can see me or not.
He want to hear you. He just want us.
Yeah, just tell him to sit down there right there with you. It don't make no difference.
We'll be together.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to push no more buttons. Just,
All right. That's all good, Dad. We got it.
okay, I mean, you know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Sure. Can you hear him? Yeah.
Okay, and I hear you perfectly. Do you remember when we pulled? Don't have to push no buttons. All you got to do is hear me. And we just got to have facsimiles of the reality. Do you remember when I pulled in the lot on 82nd and the police came behind me about 10 years ago, or maybe 12 years ago. Do you remember that?
Sure. Yeah, I remember.
Okay, yeah. Then if you remember, do you remember me walking around, opening the trunk, and telling the police, "This is my neighborhood. What you doing in here?" And you saying, "Dad, take it easy, Dad." And then I went to the trunk. Do you remember that?
You told the man to take his hands off the gun.
Take his hands off the gun, right? Now, wouldn't they, with what's going on now, wouldn't they shoot a nigga if he went to his trunk? If a nigga go to his trunk, if you talking crazy to the police and you go to your trunk, won't they open up on you?
Yeah, they will.
Of course they will. All right. Now, what was the other police that was in charge doing? The one.
Yep.
What was he doing back there? I'll put it this way. Was he on the phone talking to somebody?
I'm listening to this phone.
Right. Was the police on the phone?
Yeah, he called his sergeant or captain or somebody.
No, he was a sergeant. He was calling somebody. You don't know who he was talking to. But he was pacing back and forth. Huh?
Yep.
Me
and you thought that he was calling his captain or somebody.
Well, he was calling back. He was pacing back and forth. He was talking to, I'm just not putting this out, he was talking to the man that's in charge of me. That's why they're not doing nothing. Right? Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't see you, but don't worry about it. We'll slow down too much. The point is that the police, him and all the other police is there, and Mukhtar was there too. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Mukhtar was there. Okay, so pretty soon the police say, they don't give me no ticket. I ain't got no, I got a Delaware license on the car, and it's 6 years old. I ain't got nothing legal. So the police leave. Remember when I tried to shake his hand? Hey, nice talking to y'all. I was making fun of him. What was happening was, remember what I was telling you, try to remember. What I was saying was, no, they're talking to their boss. And their boss is telling him what to do. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Okay.
I remember.
All right. And then the other old dumb police around there, I'm talking to them kind of funny too. Now, the question I'm asking, can a Negro talk to the white police like that anywhere in the United States and get up and walk around? Can he walk to his trunk? Can a nigga walk to a trunk?
No.
With the police? He can't walk to no trunk.
No, you can't do that.
No, you can't. They'll shoot you right away. It ain't no, but I'm doing it right, and you hollering, "Dad, Dad." Well, why was I doing that? I'm doing that because I know them, I know what they can do, and I know who they're talking to. You see what I mean? They're getting clearance, and the clearance is, they're telling him, okay, leave them alone. This is what you do. Write them a ticket, which they're not going to, I ain't never had to answer that ticket because I never have, and it was 4 tickets. But the point is that he was talking to somebody that was in charge of my case. The person he was talking to was right here in D.C. We call him Baba Kloon. Don't worry about what Baba Kloon means, because it's Ibn Kloon and Baba Kloon. Baba Kloon got 2 sons. And Baba Kloon got 2 sons, and Ibn Kloon is the sons. Don't worry about who they are and everything. Everybody will know in time. The point I'm making is that, number one, I didn't try to take no money from your mother about the house. I was giving her money all the time, right? You remember when your mother needed $20,000 to get on that list, Terrell?
Yeah.
20,000, right?
Yeah.
Now,
15.
15.
Something like that.
Okay, 15,000. Okay.
You get when you gave her the money. You gave her like 7, and you told her you was gonna give her some more in a few days.
Right. You remember better than I do. That's right. So out of that, she wound up with about $20,000. Now it ain't no niggas you can go to in those days, ex-wife, ex-husband, and say, "Look, I need such and such and such," and you just say, "Well, give me a day or two, and I'll come by with it." Right? People can't do that.
Kenny, I told her, I said, nobody can't go to their baby daddy and get $10.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyway.
But anyway, okay. So the one about that I had jumped on her to prevent her, to make her get a loan for me. Actually, I was not angry, but I was telling her that's all y'all got, because the house was not just for her, it was for both of y'all. And once you get in debt, you can't get out of it. By the way, 30 years later, what happened to that house, and how much was it worth by the time? Basically, she lost the house, right?
She lost the house, and it was worth 700 and some thousand. 800 some thousand.
800. It was worth. It's probably worth $1 million now, but it was worth, at that time, it was worth $800,000. But she had borrowed money over the years in so many dumb ways that she was just losing the house. And by the way, was she getting any money from me to help keep up some payments on some other house she had?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because you was helping.
That's right.
You was helping her because she needed.
She needed some money.
She had that other venture she did with the other when she bought that other property.
She bought that other house at the wrong time. I don't want to get into it, but she bought it at the exact wrong time. She bought it in 2005, and I told her that ain't the right time, and then the housing market fell 2 years later. As soon as she signed on the line, the housing thing fell. And anyway, okay, the point I'm making is that see, a lot of the stuff, let me look at something else right here. I'm sure y'all don't remember this, but on 12/9/86, that's December the 9th, 1986, Sheldon got arrested in the nighttime, and guess who else got arrested the next day on 12/10? You got arrested, 1986, because I wrote on here, remember we used to go to the fruit market?
Yeah.
When you had the fruit stand out there? Okay,
Yeah.
but y'all got arrested because 4 days later we're going to have a program at the masjid. And if you guys are in jail, the only people that would be at the masjid during the program would be snitches. Now, since we're in the snitches, do you remember Usama and from Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What did y'all say about them guys?
Well, I said he was the rollers.
Yeah.
He was the police.
Right. And your brother said he was a BITCH type person, right? You know, with police characteristics. That's what I remember y'all saying. Yeah. Okay. Not only that, but see, the point I'm getting at is that this is not new. The stuff that's happening now is not new. But I had to have a lot of patience because I had to put together a program. This program started, let me try to get the, kind of when it started. Let's see, just hold on a minute. This program started basically in 1986. And it started because, you remember when we sleep in the back room back there? Remember when we sleep in the back room back there? You know the room. Yeah.
We was in the front, Dad. We used to be in the front.
We used to be in the front. That was in the front a while back, but later on we went to the back.
Trying to be in the back. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. That's right.
Okay, we was in the front. We was in the front when the car crashed through the front, right?
Yeah, that's why we went to the back.
That's why we went to the back. Now remember what happened. The nigga that crashed through the front, remember I told him, hey, no problem, just let me see your license and then we'll call it a day, right?
Yeah,
And then he got to talking crazy, right?
yeah.
And then I maybe accidentally popped him.
Spot on it.
Yeah.
You
That's okay, don't worry about it.
had to check, you had to tighten him up.
But what happened, the police came and searched me, remember?
Yeah.
Remember the police, he went over and whispered to the police. He didn't run into us. And remember, that post in the middle, you know where the masjid is separated? It's got a big separator there. If that wasn't there, where would we be now?
You've been dead.
We'd been dead. So the nigga was out to kill us. That's what he was mad about. He didn't get us because we slept on the floor in the front, right?
Yeah.
And he was trying, suppose he came right straight through there like he thought he was coming. But when he hit the curb threw him into the post, which made him slide, and he knocked the whole front off. Remember, we could see night light out there. Okay, I said, oh, no problem. But the police come and search me because he done told him that nigga got a gun. I said, the nigga done just tore the building down. We sleeping there, could have been killed. That ain't no big deal. The point I'm making is every time we've had anything with the police department, the police take the other Negro's side. Right? Remember when you and I went up about 85, we went up to visit Sheldon and Susanville, remember? They said, first, they said you can't come in because you got jeans on. I took my jeans off, my black pants off, and let you wear them because you had jeans on, right? And I had a long thobe with nothing on under it, which is okay. And then they let us in the visiting room. Remember?
Yeah.
Then they took us out of the visiting room. And they said, your brother is in the hole. Remember they said he's in the hole?
Yeah.
And all the niggas there on the desk was like rolling their eyes. They couldn't say nothing because the sergeant was there. But when I called the next day up there, I said, is my son in the hole up there? I called his foreman. He said, no, he's right here running around.
No, but Dad, remember, because it was a dude, it was an inmate. He was an outside worker.
Right.
It was an inmate out there, and he was like, man, he said, he came up, he whispered to us, he said, hey, I know Sheldon Reams. He said he ain't in the hole.
Right.
He told us he wasn't in the hole. He
Right,
said,
right.
He out there.
Right.
On the line.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
but we knew that.
Before we left.
We knew that, but we couldn't break into the penitentiary. That's the only problem. We couldn't break into the penitentiary to see him. Because, see, people try to break out of the penitentiary. But the thing I'm making is if your last name is Reams, with the police in California or anywhere, you're in trouble. But if your name is Reams, right? And what do the people, Sheldon?
Yeah, right here, Dad.
Okay, What happened when you must have been about 19, tall and skinny, when you went over to San Quentin?
Yep.
What happened? What happened when you and your partners y'all was all new and y'all went into the dorm over there?
What particular incident you talking
No,
about?
when y'all was new and y'all first came in and y'all said when they call all the names, wasn't nobody paying attention. But when they called your name, it's like the saloon, they playing the music and the music stopped and everybody looked. Now, what happened to all the old gangsters? What did they do when, they took care? That's right, that's right. It's like, right, but I'm saying it's like the when they said your name, because it ain't too many people with the last name of Reams. So when they said Reams, it's like, from what I remember, they said, boy, who's your granddaddy? And I guess your teeth was chattering because that's for your first time going on. So you say, my granddaddy, and then you told them. Because they asked about your grandfather first, right? And then they asked about me. And then, like you said, they spread their arms around you. The point I'm making is, if you got our last name and you're dealing with the police, you're in trouble. They're going to enhance your stuff. They're going to mess with you till you turn all the way over and go through flips. But with the people, you don't never find no problem. Have any of y'all ever got any trouble with the people because your last name was Reams?
Nah, man. Everybody love us because of you, feel me? Our reputation, your reputation.
Okay, I understand. Okay, that's all I want to hear. Now, the next thing is, Sheldon, do you remember, okay, we had two incidents. One, do you remember when y'all was on the porch over there on 96th and one Negro came up to you and said, hey man, I want to talk to you. And he pulled you off the porch. And when you came off the porch, what happened? When they sprayed this. No, I'm talking about the Negroes. This time you was on the porch with Negroes. And the people that pulled you off the porch, they sprayed the porch. Did the porch ever get sprayed over there on 96?
Oh, yeah, you talking about, yeah. They got shot at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody came and pulled you. Right, they pulled you off the porch first, right? Then that's the value of having a good name. Now, if you didn't have a good name, them niggas would have sprayed all of you, right? But you was friends with the other niggas and you was friends with, huh?
Wasn't for you, I'd probably been dead a long time ago.
Did y'all hear that? Okay, all right. See, here's what we're trying to do. You know, we're building up, we're going to whoop boss man's behind bad. See, y'all would have to understand, I'm going to tell you, you would have to understand what I'm doing in order to, I'll tell you another time. Remember when you called me and said somebody done pulled something off and I'm going to do something to him? And I called you and I said, come out here. And when you came out to D.C., remember that? Yeah. Okay, you came out to D.C. and when you got here, I don't know if you remember, but I told you, I asked you a series of questions. Who is that nigga? How does he behave? and on and on. And you told me, well, man, this nigga done mess with so-and-so, he done mess with so. So I told you, get at the end of the line. Remember, let somebody else finish him off. Since he ain't just messing with you, right? And you know how Oakland is, he was messing with everybody, right? So I kept you out here until somebody, whatever happened, he disappeared. Remember that?
Yep.
Okay, so what I'm telling you is about when you got game. See, y'all ain't old as me, although you're catching up. That everything I've done with y'all, maybe if I couldn't protect you, at least there was people around that knew us and they looked out for you. Okay? Now, the only bad part, which I look over a lot of stuff, whatever you do, I look over it because the police is on your case. And they always on your case. You see what I mean? So, I remember, you remember when I used to come up to Folsom to visit you, Terrell?
Yeah.
And remember,
New Folsom or the old one?
I think it was the old Folsom. Because, yeah, it was the old penitentiary. Because when I was coming in, one of the police said, oh, Reams is your son. He's a good guy. Da, 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 da. I said, fine. But remember in the visiting room, what would all the old gangsters do? They would always tell you, tell your father, the gangsters and the Muslims, right?
Yeah.
They would tell you when your father come, let us know.
Yeah.
Right?
They want to holler at you. Everybody
They want to holler. Okay, that's the point, that they want to holler at me, and they would. So when I would visit you, I would also visit all the other niggas in California. You know, that they in charge of California, not they just visiting and running around. The Muslims and the gang leaders, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's the point I'm making. See, boss man think he got ways, and then what did they do? Pretty soon they took me off the visiting list, remember?
They sure did.
Yeah, I'm telling you. They
All of a sudden they took you
they
off.
just took me off visiting
Said,
list.
"I was finna come home in."
Right, it was too late. Okay, the point is that we've had a lot of company over the years. Let me see. DC, Sheldon,
Yeah, that right here.
do you remember when you was maybe about 6 years old? Do you remember those helicopters flying so close to our house and just hanging over the house till the house would shake?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Shoot, that was when I was around then, talk too, Dad.
You was around, but you was 2 years old, if you can remember when.
Came home from the feds. You was in the
But they did it then. They did it, but the big time was before that. In like about 70 and 71, 71 and stuff like that. You was maybe 2 years old or something like that. Okay. Okay, no, you could remember the second go round, but the first go round, Sheldon would remember it very well because we talked about it before. That the police would park their helicopter, not park it, but they would be flying so close to the house that the house would be shaking.
Right.
Yeah, okay. This is the only point I'm making points right now. And don't worry, these will come back later. Okay, so Port Susanville, helicopters. Okay, that's basically the few points. Oh yeah, the hospital. Here's what they sent me from it says District Attorney's Office. It says, we received information from Highland Hospital concerning an incident where you may have been a victim of a crime. I understand how upsetting such an experience can be and would like to offer assistance in finding resources to help you with the emotional and financial impact in this incident. Okay, now this is from the district attorney's office. They're pretending that they were so worried. Now remember when we was at the hospital, Sheldon, you remember when we was at the hospital?
Sheldon.
Okay, but you remember when we was in the hospital, when I was in the hospital, right? Okay, I guess he can't hear. That's okay. We'll deal with that one later. I hear you. Take it easy. I hear you. Okay. Now, this is just for general information now. This is one of our newsletters. It says As-Sabiqun policy statement and goals for 2005 for Oakland. Raise funds for property on MacArthur Boulevard. Secure all necessary renovation permits. Pay off taxes by the first week in February 2005, and it is about 40. I can pass this around. You can see on January 27th, 2005, right up there at the top, you can see what I paid off. I paid off all of those are like maybe two are in cash and one is
I see the first one and the third one says 17.
yeah.
$17,684.86.
Right.
Cash.
Right.
And then the third one is $19,515.59.
Right.
I don't know what the other.
The cashier's check is 8,000 something.
Eight, might as well say
9,000.
9,000.
Okay. Those are you remember when we would have meetings here in those days and we say, well, our newsletter at the end had these calculations that we're going to go out to Oakland and we're going to pay the taxes out there. So, because the people wasn't paying the taxes. And I didn't know until I assumed they was paying the taxes. Then I stumbled upon a letter that they had sent to them, and so I said, well, we got to take care of these. But anyway, Mukhtar told me that I was stealing from the community. And he said that since I paid $24,000, something like that, on my house, right, on my house, that I was stealing from the community. Okay, I got stacks of Section 8 receipts. In those days, I didn't have an account for myself. I had the masjid account. So all the money I raised, I just put it in that account. All of it. No matter how much money I made here, there, no matter how much money I made for selling books, and I used to make a lot of money for selling books. All the money I made, I put it in Masjid al-Islam account. And, okay, well, just hold on a minute. I'm talking about our accounts now. At Masjid al-Islam, and I just never had an account for. I had a bookstore account at this, that, but I never had. We even had one Karadan Hassanan, remember? It wasn't in my name, it was for everybody. Of course, they emptied that boy out. We might have had two. We might have got enough courage to try again after they knocked it over. But the point is that Mukhtar put some pen on the thing and said that Imam Musa is stealing money from the community because I had made an announcement that I just paid $24,000 in taxes on the house. Now, it makes no difference that I put over 30,000 in the account for my house. You know that it's registered that this came from Section 8, right? And so he was using that. I'm getting to the point of what the Negroes have been doing now. He used that to say that I was stealing money from the community. He mentioned that we took $50,000 from here out to there to pay their taxes, you know what I mean? And that at a fundraiser, I'd get the guy that was doing the fundraising, have him come, because I know at 2 fundraisers, one of them I know I had a $35,000 check from here for them out there to buy a school and to buy property. In other words, Mukhtar drove right past all of this. He drove past all of this, not just this 1,000 things. Not only, and other people had to, Abdul Malik had to get his own salary. Mukhtar got a salary for me, and that's not our custom. The custom, if you work fi sabilillah. Mukhtar got a salary. I put $35,000, $40,000, $50,000 in the account, and whenever I'd come back, it would be empty. I mean, you know, if I put 10,000 here, shoot, he'd knock that over. And then he blamed me for stealing. I tell you what, remember we used to tell the Mukhtar to go out and raise money? Mm-hmm. Did he ever go? Never. The nigga never went to.
Always had car problems.
Already got a car
Always
problem,
had car problems.
some kind of problem.
You know what I'm saying? Or if he did, he probably went to the corner up the street,
Right.
back to the mosque.
Back to the masjid. I'm just telling you. When I get into court, they can't keep this out. If they try to keep this stuff out of court, we'll just put it out on the street. We'll just be out there with a loudspeaker, and they're not going to be able to do this. We're going to write about it. We're going to talk about it. Okay, now I'm going to explain to y'all in brief what we've been doing out here. So y'all been pretty mad out there, your poor Baba getting beat upside the head and stuff, right? Yeah. The reason no, that's all right, that's all right. The reason that I was so serious about y'all not doing nothing is for a reason. But Sheldon, remember the night we went to the hospital and them 2 old black ladies was saying, I ain't never seen nobody as happy as you are. You remember they were saying that? Yeah. They want why I was so happy and I was busted upside the head. Yeah. Okay. And I told y'all later, the reason that I was happy is because everything is going our way. The police never took no statement from me. I remember I'm there trying to tell the police that so-and-so did this, right? And they ain't taking nothing from me. They don't want to hear it, right? That's the police. And I got my records from, you know, the phone records. If you call a certain number, like if I call, what's the old captain's name that, Joyner, old Captain Joyner. That's your homeboy. Old Captain Joyner. Technically, I called him in April of one of those years, April, I almost remember the date. And he said, I'll be happy to talk to you, Mr. Reams, but my children, I have to take them to school or pick them up from school.
I remember.
Yeah. And I said, nigga, if you remember that time, school was out. School was out at that time, because that was the day, that was the week when y'all, what is it, Easter or something like that? Spring break. And of course he was lying, but you know, that's not nothing. The other point is this. Uh, y'all don't have to worry about the things that were going on in Oakland. You don't have to worry about, can you go up to the masjid? Now, y'all was staying at the masjid with me when there was holes in the roof, rain was coming in. Remember them big old rats would be jumping up out of the sewer? Big giant rats. Hey man, them was some bad rats. And remember, I used to have a pistol to shoot at them, but that just didn't hit them. Finally, we just closed the sewer off. But the point is that we stayed there and we built that masjid. We reorganized it and we made it a nice place to pray, and everybody was happy there. Mukhtar tried to tell the story like that he fixed it up. He lied so bad that he forgot his lies, and they asked him, Mr. Mukhtar, why did you say that? Yeah, I don't know. Remember when we was in court?
Yeah, I remember he said that.
Yeah, but here's what happened. Now remember, the white folks didn't want me to go to court. They didn't want me to get on the stand, and I was playing with them, and I wasn't going to get on the stand. But how long did it take for the jury when they was out? You remember that?
10, 15 minutes.
Right.
Minutes.
They didn't even eat the food. You know where they had it outside the jury room? They take a platter up with all kind of oranges, apples, bananas, and food. They ate nothing. They just walked there. They said, that nigga is fine. Let him go. Remember that?
Yeah.
No problem.
Didn't even get out, didn't break for lunch for 20, 30 minutes.
I'm trying to tell you, these people, that's why I tell y'all, relax, I got this covered. Now, if you were here, I'm going to be brief in just telling you overall. For a long time, starting when they hassled y'all in 1986, and I don't know if you remember what I told y'all. I told you they're using the stuff on you guys that they use on the Russians. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
And I was just saying, there's no way young kids, right, they can, so they can't do nothing to me. Sheldon, remember the time we standing in front of the masjid and the what do they call them, task force drive by? And then they do their finger like, yeah, we're gonna get you, at you, not me. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember. How you know they weren't talking about you, Dad?
Because there I am. They wasn't talking about me. He was pointing at you. What they gonna do to me? They can't do nothing to me. Remember, okay, well, think about it. What can they do to me? They used to send niggas to the masjid with tons of cocaine and everything, trying to help me get started again. I tell them, you gotta go. They done came there with, remember Terrell, we'd be laying there and sometimes women was always calling late at night. You remember the time that woman called and she said she looks like Imani, a model, and she said well, let me tell you about my vagina. And I hollered at the phone, you can't tell me about your vagina. And you said, give me the phone. Do you remember that? You were 16. You said, give me the phone and let her tell. And then I might have popped you or something. But anyway, I'm telling you, can you imagine all the foolishness that went on there? And we just smoothed right on through it. Over 40 years. So now here's what we're going to do. When I say we're going to sue the government, we're going to sue the bank, we're going to sue the county, we're going to sue the state, and guess what? After we finish them, we're going back to the federal government. from 1971. Here's why. Let me explain. Now, you don't have the transcript, but I got the transcript here. They say that they searched your mother, then they took her to jail when we came from Mexico. And they said that they didn't pat me down. Now, when you used to travel, a lady would always carry a gun because, we're in Mexico, So they found a gun in her purse when we was coming back. And then they say, we're going to take you back and search both of y'all. But the people saw that the police patted me down before we went back there, right? That's why in the court, my lawyer asked them, did they pat you down? Did you pat the man down before you took him in the back? He said no, because if he would have patted me down, I couldn't have no drug unless he pulled the drugs out right then, right? I'm telling you, the feds gave that case to me, and after we went to the jail, they didn't have nothing for your mother. So they went back, according to the transcript, I don't know if I read it to y'all, and they went in the garbage can and they found the stuff that was in the room where Marilyn was, right? Here's the point. The police set us up, and your mother was so upset. And a mother have a love for her children. So I said, I'm leaving, and you can go down and say, whatever you want to say. And they let her, because remember, everybody was pointing at me. This is a big old mean nigga. Oh, da, 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 da. And she's a nice church-going lady, right? That's the way. Anyway, that's the story that I'm telling, and it's very close to that. You hear what I said?
Yep.
It's very close to that. Okay? So after we go into the $100 million case, all of this stuff we've been allowing to build up since 1986. When they arrested y'all, I guess it was December. In the same month, December 6th, they stole notebooks, 4 notebooks, an accordion folder. I don't know if you remember the folders and stuff I used to keep in the back room, and for my papers and everything. Well, when they stole that, and when they kept putting y'all in jail, I started on this program in 1986. It evolved. I said there's no way to deal with them unless we have a long-range strategy, which includes sabr, patience, to check, to tie, and to contain. That means that we would have to have, this would be a protracted, I don't know if y'all remember that language, protracted long-range struggle, right? Okay. Now, we've been talking about it here for decades. But what I'm telling you now, we have engineered the federal government, the state government, and the local government, and the Bank of America into violating all the rules and regulations that they have. Number one, remember, they've been arresting me in the masjid, and the masjid is the deeds in my name, with my name right on the front.
In your name.
Right, in my name, and they arrested me every time they get ready. And Mukhtar, I done showed the brothers here, Mukhtar is calling the police, and he's saying that this man just came from D.C. with 2 shotguns. Y'all remember me reading y'all? Yeah, okay. Now, if you want to get somebody killed by the police department, just tell them the man was looking at a gun. He didn't have one. He just looking at one. Now, this brother tells the people, right? The police, the Oakland police, not the nicest guys in town, that I have 2 shotguns that I just brought from D.C., and on and on and on. The point is, and I'm going to switch subjects in a minute, but I want to thank y'all for being patient all of these years. Do you hear what I'm saying? Yeah. And the other thing is, y'all don't have to be Sunday school niggas after 15 or 20 years of going to jail, if you know what I'm saying. You don't have to, if you slid a little bit, that's no problem. The thing is, y'all held on longer than any Negroes in and around Masjid al-Islam. Remember them Negroes, old Mansour and them?
Yeah.
Remember all them niggas, the Wing Chun niggas? I mean, excuse my language. Yeah.
Saeed and them.
All them people, man. Okay. Maybe out of all the people, 1 or 2 might be halfway all right. But all of them Negroes that was close in, trying to hang and stay in the masjid and trying to be there, all of them, Usama, all of them, whether they was from Denver, wherever they came from, they was always up to something. Sabotage. And remember when my homeboy came back to Oakland and he weighed about 100 pounds, he said he'd been in the penitentiary down in South America?
Yeah, Jordan.
That's right. That's all. Enough said. Okay. What we've been involved in is the biggest adventure. It makes the stuff people watch on TV and all that stuff, it makes it look like nothing. That's what we've been doing. So what I want to do to y'all, I want to thank y'all. Y'all haven't been behaving that well, but I'm just saying that, hey, man, when you carry the name Reams in California, that's like a death sentence almost, right? That means if you walk around the corner, there's the police trying to grab you, right? That's what they was doing to y'all. Post Sheldon every time he get a little car, remember when you'd get a nice little old ride with rims on it and stuff?
Try to take me to jail.
They wouldn't be trying, they would take you to jail the day after you get the car and ride down 3 or 4 streets. Every time, I imagine that was just heartbreaking. As soon as you would get it and ride down and get a little old ugly girl riding in there with you, or you didn't ride, you just left them at home. I guess you like to ride by yourself. No, that's fine. That's the way I did. The other thing, there's another dumb rumor that people have out here. Not only is it a dumb rumor, well, you hear about it in a minute. Can you see these people right here?
Oh, that's Joyce and them.
That's Joyce, that's Beverly.
Let me see, Beverly.
That's Tootie right there, right? That little guy right there? Tootie.
Where?
Can you see right there by the car? There he is.
Oh, that's Shell.
That's Sharon. No, that ain't Shell. That's Sharon. That's Sharon, Beverly, and Joyce. Now remember what all of the sisters used to say, that they felt like movie stars, right?
Yeah.
When they would be riding in them big pretty cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Now remember,
Pull up to the club.
when they pull up to the club, boy, they would be feeling. So here's the kind of nigga I was. I kept, when niggas get money, they try to get all the pretty girls and them green-eyed ladies and stuff. These is all neighborhood Negro women, right?
Yeah.
They all our homegirls. They're your mother's friends, they're my friends, they're the neighborhood girls. And that's who, I didn't come to no club with all the fancy cracker women and all of that. I kept the home girls. When we gave jobs, think about it, they all went to people like this and Sherry and all of that type. The thing up.
Cookie and them.
Yeah, Cookie and them had Cookie and them. Who else?
Nina.
Nina had a job. Well, you see, they used to say I was the biggest employer in Oakland. See, the people here don't know nothing about East Oakland Enterprises. But I'll tell a story about what not only I was trying to do, but what we did at that time. The point is, we stayed close. Sheldon, you remember when Cheryl Faye told you that she was there from the very beginning? Yeah, she was. She was. She was there from the very beginning. She died of AIDS and stuff. You know, one of the only mistakes is when I got out of the penitentiary, I didn't super invite her to Islam. Yeah, but she died of AIDS, and people didn't believe her when they would tell. She'd be telling, I was there from the beginning. I know all of what happened. She was. And you know, she had a bad reputation at the end, right? But guess what? She never did nothing to me. Never. A soldier to the end, I'm telling you. Anyway, I got a lot that I want to say, but I think what I'm going to do is so spread out that I want to thank y'all for just paying attention, and that just hang on. I'm going to be out there, and what's the name? Please don't tear up anything no worse than it already is. We'll clean up 85th. We're going to make it a nice place to live. And we're going to whoop the white man. I know y'all was worried all the time. All the time. You can see it in your face. Y'all thought that the numbers, nobody can beat the white man. He's got everything. Got all the niggas snitching. That ain't the way it worked. Your dear daddy was planning from day one. Protracted means a long-range struggle. Protracted also has something to do with sabr, patience. When you don't, Sheldon, you remember when y'all wanted to go and do something to somebody?
Yeah.
Okay, and I said, I was almost hollering, do not move. Stay out of my business, right? Remember that? I was telling you. That's exactly what I was. Stay out of my business. I know that means they're doing exactly what we encourage them to do. They're trapped, not us. Okay, that's the point. That historically, and I'll be brief, the federal government has been able to do what they want to Negroes since the very beginning. The federal government, the chain gangs, the county governments, everybody. They can do what they want to Negroes, and they can make them buckle. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They ain't did that to me. We done made a fool out of them, and ain't nothing they can do about it. But it took a long time. So when I come back out there, we're going to be starting on that project, and we'll take a time. Whatever they say, we'll just do something else and fix it up. It don't make no difference what they do. They're trapped. You know where the police come in, or the DA, and try to offer you a deal? We offer the feds a deal. We say, look, it's a $100 million deal, and if you do it like this, we'll just say 10 things instead of 1,000. That's what we offer them. We offer them a deal. They're not offering us no deal. And there's nothing they can do about it. They didn't have the FBI, you wouldn't believe it. The dumb FBI came by the masjid. and all kind of stuff. We just had to take our time. That's all. And it was no secret, but it was protracted, look that up in the dictionary, protracted struggle. That's long range struggle, right? But it's protracted struggle adjusted to our environment. Just because, Sheldon, do you remember we were sitting there a few times and I would have a book and I would telling you about this type of struggle and that type of struggle? Okay. Yeah, well, that's what we were doing. I want to thank y'all for holding on all this time. I know Boss Man was kind of messing with you a little bit, cause your name and stuff. And don't worry about a thing. You talking about hitting it big, huh?
Got it covered.
Okay, you're good. Just hang on. Now, don't do nothing wrong around there. And clean up the place because we don't want the police talking about dropping a fine or something on the, So just clean it up a little bit. And no dogs, dear son. No.
You got them, Dad.
Huh?
I got the same ones I had.
You got them at the house?
Yep.
You had to put them out in the back then, huh? Huh?
I got the same dogs I had 4 years ago. Chloe and Blue.
The ones that ate up all the furniture and bit all the doors and stuff like that? Same ones?
Yeah, I heard. I just seen that, but that'll be fixed by the time you come home.
Yeah, but they'll still have, excuse the expression, they will still have shitted all over everywhere. And, okay. The little house back there,
Yep.
why don't y'all get a big dumpster and clean that out and let the dogs stay in there till we clean it up?
Okay.
All right?
All right, Dad.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's all for today.
All right, Dad.
Assalamu alaikum. All right.
All right, Dad.
Okay. Yeah. Well, how have we turned this out?
Tap the screen. Just tap the screen. Is there like a red button that pops up? Yeah, hit that red button. There you go.
This says start. Okay. I couldn't get to all this other stuff. But we got to some basic fundamentals. If push comes to shove, I could use that in court right now as a deposition. Okay, and a deposition or nothing else is necessary. What I'm doing right now is building up for California, because this time we're going to go on and knock it over. We don't have to wait. We don't have to trick nobody. We don't have to do nothing. This time we're just going in, and it looks like it'll be enough crew there. If not, we'll build a crew. But we're going to fix this up, and it's just the easiest case in the world. Everything they did, they broke all the laws, and they broke them 50 times over. They broke the law every time they looked in my direction. They broke the law on arrest. They broke the law on, nobody could come and get an account and get the money out of your account. They could. The bank won't do that unless the bank is crazy. So all of those things. Now, why would we say something like $100 million? It's because all the time we call this this is arrest time, but at the same time, if we want to hit the ground running and we want to help on homelessness and we got all these projects lined up, it's going to take $100 million just to get it started. Yeah, it's going to take $100 million just to get it started. Because we've never been thinking about, well, you could hear we have never been thinking about or paying no attention to what Boss Man has been doing. We pay attention to him to study him, that's all. And far as I'm concerned, we done whooped him. If we don't win no case, we just beat Boss, slapped him upside the head. You know, we're going to put a slowdown on all this stuff. Remember everything we talked about. Here's, what's the ladies, not Ladies Sing the Blues, but Billie Holiday. What's all the movies back then? COINTEL program, take their mind back there. Yeah, you can see it's for us, it's just so ridiculous, it's just wide open. Where's most people going to do? They're going to go back and they're going to prove their case based on that stuff. And they're going to let artificial intelligence, and remember, if we let them get away with that, they're going to ruin, they'd already ruined this, right? So what do you think if we don't get busy? That's why we don't need to raise $2,000 for this. We need we need certain credibility that we know what we're talking about. You can take it to the bank. That you know everybody they know is clear. And they know it without any gain, like, it happened over such a long period of time, it was so repetitive that there's no opening to try to say, all we want them to do is say, well, this is why they did that. Then we say, well, what about that? And this, well, it was that, did it? Or what about this? Da, 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 da. In other words, if they open their mouth and try to defend their foolishness, we'll say, great. 1, 2, 3. Well, there was a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On and on. There's this unlimited what we have. Over and over and over again. It's not only unlimited with Negroes, it's unlimited with, there's Iranians there. There's Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui said this in front of all the Muslims. Why the next time I go to South Africa, everybody's acting funny? Why, right? Why Zafar Bangash, Muhammad Al-Asli, them, they're all sitting there, right? Everybody heard it. He's the chief. Why, instead of going back to South Africa and everybody's happy to see me, they got some kind of way to send me over here, send me around there, and keep me out of the loop? Why we put up with it? We put up with it because it's all of them. They're all on the team. They're all on the team. That's the way it is. It don't have nothing to do with, well, I wish they wasn't all on the team. But they're all on that. It seems like they're all on Boss Man's team, or their behavior is reflective of something Boss Man would do. What about all the Negroes? Same story. Same story. Did we give everybody our opportunity? Yeah, 30, 40 years, repeat, and they do the same thing, right? So, we're at the stage right now to where, and you get the hint, this is it. And we've been saying this for quite a while, you know what I mean, that, yeah, this looks like it. And that's what we're gonna deal with. And also, it's not only clean up Oakland, but here, and you gotta remember everybody's behavior, all over the place. Behavior patterns, year after year after year. All the time, every time. And you just have to say, well, that's what they do. I remember that was a little old black nigga here used to come over there sometime on 8th Street, married a Somali woman, something like that. Well, they left, it was 2 little old black Negroes, not that I'm light or nothing, but they were extraordinarily black. And they was supposed to be a little security guard. They were going to you know, And then when they leave, they do the same thing. They go over to some other place and sit there like I was mistreated by Imam Musa. You know what I mean? And they waiting for you to come. Why are you here? Astaghfirullah. You know, all that old stuff. Hey, man. We just had to put up with it because all of the studies before, all of the stuff before, it's just clear. You know, it's all, and all the people before, you got to realize, none of our people get to the finish line hardly. If they do, they so bogged down they can't hardly move. They don't get to the finish line. Whether it's Muhammad Ali, whether it's Jack Johnson, whatever, you know. And remember, all the stuff we talked about using, we used it, just like we said we was. But Boss Man is basically, at this period, he is really crazy because his empire is falling apart and he's not doing anything about it. He's just not doing nothing about it. And the Chinaman's is coming up, and everybody doing what they want to do. We might try to encourage the Chinaman's to be more humane. You know, remember when you was on the way up, remember, you know, don't forget everybody, don't turn like Boss Man. If you do, you'll just be around a few weeks longer than him. You know, go ahead. If you're gonna be so bad, go ahead. Loan everybody money and charge them interest, do what you want to do. You know, that's all we can do is advise. Okay, there are people that know who we are and always and have for a long time. If you look at the cycles, where are people that's been ignoring us for I don't know how long? And they build Negroes a spot right out there, a few blocks from here. And you can tell they did it because it's filled up with, you know what I mean? The stuff that Negroes ain't got. It's just, you walk in there, what's the name, took me by. And I just said, oh, that's nice, that's nice. Which it is, it's fine. But I know who did it. Ain't none of our Negroes got no loan to do that. They don't do that. Look, I don't care what nobody say. I can see, I've been around too long and I can see what they put up. They put that up so everybody would stop coming here, right? And the people over there thought that I might get mad. I didn't say it. You can ask some of the people. I said, if y'all need books, if y'all need this, you come on by and get them. Okay, so, but now elections are coming up in country too. What does it look like? You know, probably whoever we win is probably closer on our side. Probably, because the ones that's doing what they was doing and all them nickeling, they didn't even want to hear what we had to say. Black Lives Matter, they look so innocent. I said, y'all is crazy. I mean, y'all remember me talking about this. That ain't no black life. They look so innocent. I said, they ain't no hell. I go out there every day. That's you know, and it come out just the way what we said. You know, okay. So far, so good. We've acted in a semi-Quranic, semi-Hadith way. So we're in a hopefully semi, you know, like it's a possibility that things might come out. So far, they've came out exactly the way we forecast ever since we've been here. Whether it's Equan, whether it's the voting things, this stuff has been happening all the time. And what we told the people, it's not saying I told you so, but in a way, And we haven't made, well, the enemies we always had them. What I mean is we haven't talked about nobody like they needed to be talked about, because when boss man fall apart, we're going to need, just like Geronimo said on the train, wherever we're going, we're going to need each other. You know what I mean? So whatever's coming up, artificial intelligence, and these crackers and Chinamen, they get their part too. They just going headlong. They're worse than Columbus's time. Instead of staying over there and fix what you got first, then go look for something else, right? Then when you get there, you carrying a fixed package. Well, they come over here, wiped out the people, same thing they did. You may not believe in Mexico and Central America, you think they wiped out Indians here? They knocked out 20 million people. See, it was more populated, the weather's better, more greenery here, just the grass, stuff growing. But down there, it's full of everything. That's why the pyramids, all those big, that stuff was down there. And the poor Incas, those guys, no, Cortez is Mexico. Pizarro was Peru. Pizarro. They would, and you ought to see some of the artifacts. They had skulls that had perfect circles in them. That mean they was doing brain surgery on people then. And they showed the tools. They're doing brain surgery on people then. That mean their medicine was at the point that they could know, well, it's here, this here. You know what I mean? They wasn't doing that in Europe maybe 500 years later. 500 years later. Okay. They stole so much gold, and that was their problem in Peru. They had all that gold. The Spanish galleons sunk in the harbor in Lima. They loaded them up with so much gold. Okay. The point is, transition. They should have fixed Europe first, right? Europe and Asia before they come over here. So what did? They came over here and they effed everything up just like they had it back there. Now they're getting ready to go out into space. Hey, they ought to stay here and fix up. Whoever they're going out there is going to take so long to get there, you know what I mean, that it don't make no difference. For us in generation, it'll take tons of years. But the point is that this is that global transition. This is it. We either fix this up now, or it goes past the point of no return. That's why we would say we need $100 million to start with, because we want to help. We want to have influence. And if the world, see, here's the thing. It's not that we're trying to be special, but the world does not see a Negro with any class, with any like real, they see Sharptons and Jesse Jackson, they see them and they get a feeling, you can taste what they're up to, right? They haven't seen Negroes with real honor, gallantry, dignity, ethics. They don't see that. No. Okay. So if they don't see it, that makes us more valuable. That's why we need certain amounts of money. And that's to get started with. I guess everybody, and I'll close, I guess everybody has seen homelessness in LA, homelessness in California, homelessness all over they even got homelessness in these cold states, up in New something or other. But the people is running this, just keeping on driving. Keep on driving, mash on it, and speed up. So we look at it as an honor and a privilege, and thank Allah that that number one, we've had a chance to get as far as we are, and we never violated any principle to get here either. We never got mad at nobody. None of that stuff. That's what it's going to take. It takes human understanding. If you think this was something, just imagine where we're going now. And we going there no matter whether anybody like it or not, because they ain't going to slow down on this artificial intelligence and nothing else. And they're not going to fix anything. Here's the old president. I'm going to stop talking in a minute as soon as I can. Don't even the Mexican border now is worse than it was. Right? Everything. It don't make no difference. This talk with Iran, the poor brothers, I'm not saying they deserve it, but they got to stop. Finally, they will eventually, after maybe 2 or 3 more times, stop trusting boss man. Stop trusting boss man. You can't, it don't work. It ain't never worked. It ain't never worked. Just because we told them, maybe they'll get the idea. With Allah's help, they will. Are there any questions or comments?
What do you think of the statement by Biden that Putin was a killer when just weeks ago Biden ordered an attack in Syria on so-called people tied to Iran firing missiles on American troops in Iraq? Does that make him a killer as well?
Does that make Biden a killer?
Yeah,
Personally, I don't care nothing about Biden, Putin, or none of them. They're all in the same club. Right? I mean, they're not, they have sold their souls to the devil, their own personal devil, the Russian devil. They got all kind of, they got nigger devils, they got white folks devils, and each one makes an old Kamala, she's in on it. Look, the world needs, I don't want to say it like this, but the world needs us and people like us. The people like us, you never hear from them. All you hear is crackpots. But as we get to moving around, all those people that are like us, they're going to come out. That's what's getting ready to happen right now. There's a few. Don't think we slid up here by ourselves. I'm sorry. I'd like to say, yeah, I'm a bad nigga, and I did all this. No. When it talks about way back when, I knew then that if they doing this now, can't nobody be around me, right? Nobody can't be around me and go nowhere, because that's the game they playing. They playing with their children, you're playing with your friends. That means all the friends I have, they're gonna work on them and slowly but surely, including family. That's why I told my sons, whatever y'all might have done, it's no problem. In fact, I hinted to them some years ago, y'all might as well get in with boss man. You're just not gonna, if you're not in this with me, you're not gonna have any fun, you're not gonna have anything. They would wait till they just get their little thing off the ground over and over again, and back to jail they go. But the white man saved their life. I made khutbahs about that. They saved their life. You could ask them, they don't have any friends from the old days. All of them got killed. The Negro murder rate and all that for kids, they just, the point is this. We feel the opportunity to do something for the cause of Allah, for the purpose of humanity, and we're going to give it a try. Just because nobody else wants to do it, that's okay. You do what you want to do. We do it, right? Look, we're going to make that attempt, and if it's, I don't know if you read some of the old articles 20 years ago, If it's Don Quixote-ish, like fighting windmills, so what? What else you gonna do? Go get a house, go get some money. The last thing I'm gonna say is thank God that I got through that early, that I didn't have the money, don't have no not no influence, it don't have no real influence. And hardly nobody gets that opportunity because everybody believes that that's the one. They believe honor, respect, love, all that comes with money. If you have enough money, you can get any girl you want. If you have enough money, you can get any house you want. If you have enough money, you can, that's the way they look at it. That's the biggest myth. Well, then why ain't everybody that's got all them things happy? They left something back there that they should have brought along with them, and they left the very thing that would have made them happy, right? To get that thing that have never produced happiness, just don't produce it. I don't care whether they're kings, presidents, they don't produce it. That's, to me, man, you're talking about a lesson. By the time I was 25, 26, that was a lesson. I appreciate that lesson. I appreciate getting big money right away. Now I don't have to worry about it. So money, you have some, you don't. It don't make no difference. Anyway, thank y'all very much. I hope I answered the brother's question out of this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because Putin, those guys are the same. They're just one speaks Russian, other speaks English. That's all. They're the same people. They're the same people. They're the same. Biden is not a nice man. A nice my son, he died of cancer. That's fine. But he's just using it as a hustle. You know what I mean? It's a hustle. It's a hustle that makes people cry or hurt, make them think he's a good guy. If he's a good guy, why the hell are you killing everybody? All of them was in on all that stuff they doing. They all in on it. And Mamala, she's worse than they are because she's darker than they are. So she got to pay a bigger price to get anywhere. And all the Negro is slow. The girls got it. The Negroes got it. She's going to be the next president. Yeah, well, you better duck, nigga. She get in there, you better duck and stay at the house or do something. Right? Because she got to pay her dues. She got to pay. You're going to be the president. You can't do nothing like Obama. During Obama's time, you had to hide, nigga, because you was being in trouble. Right? Hey, man. That's really the people like us and that hope like us and dream like us. They're going to make it good. And we have hopes that we do. We're going to just do what we can. We don't care what other people do. We just don't care. If they don't want to come, okay, don't come. We'll just go. They don't know what happiness is. Happiness is headed in a good direction. You don't even have to get there. That's the thing that don't nobody, you can get to the goal of the big money and you looking around feeling stupid. It's a stupid feeling. Just imagine when you get everything on the list, right, and you're not happy. That's why people go crazy. That's why they're crazy. Why? Because they said, I must have not gotten enough. So, $10 billion, right, is not enough. 40 million is not enough. The guy down the street got 80, and he's still pushing, right? It's insane, but the people don't, you know what I mean? Hey, man, it's a sickness, and you can't, there's something in the body that can't be filled because you're trying to fill up something spiritual, a spiritual space with physical stuff. It don't work. And they die without ever, committing suicide, running around in circles, taking dope, and just miserable. The richer you are in general, the more miserable you are. Yeah, that's one of the general rules, especially if you get rich quick. Whew. Okay, any more questions? Okay, alhamdulillah. What time is it up there?